Hello, everybody. Today we have a special episode. We have here Anthony and DeathSmile joining us because we are going to be talking about Hover as usual. But we're going to be reacting, going over a little bit of the video, the podcast I just recorded with Brandon, kind of just a little bit of analysis, seeing what they thought of it. They both watched the whole thing, and it was well, we just have a lot of interesting things we want to maybe talk about. I also have a lot of things that I was just surprised to hear, and it was just I thought Brandon shared a lot of information, and I think there's a lot we can talk about today. So I just want to introduce the boys. Anthony, you want to say hello first?
Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. Very happy to be here. Love Matam's channel. You know, there's not always news constantly in the sector, but when there is, or the interviews with Brandon, he covers them quite well. And I love the fact that when there's not any news, he takes nice philosophical, artistic angles to Hover to enlighten people further. And yeah, and I just gotta say, just like the Chicago Bulls, everybody focused on Jordan, but they forgot about Pippen. Let's go, Phil Kelly, HOVR, Pilch. HOVR, and Tech Advisor Pulse UAV. Let's go, Phil Kelly.
Okay, we have a real fan, like he's in the arena here. Um, Death Smiles, you want to say hello?
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Yeah, we're doing good. How so? What's your just first initial take on the video overall? What are your thoughts?
I really like the intro, man. It kind of got me all hyped up at first, and then I started digging into the video, and I was like, all right, there's some good stuff in here. Some stuff was pretty comical, but then like when you got into the whole amphibious thing, I was kind of like disappointed a little bit. I was like, well, we're not going to go after the amphibious at all. Like, what are we going to do? Like, I get what Brandon said. He's like, yeah, it's still got some buoyancy if if you had to end up in the water or whatever. But I'm starting to think about like the inner island stuff, like this island at that island, and like, shouldn't there be something emergency wise if you end up on the water, just so that thing doesn't end up at the bottom of the ocean? I mean, like even like a deployable like airbag or something simple like that that doesn't take up a lot of weight. I think that's, I know it's like not immediate, like we have to have it with the prototype or whatever, but I think down the road, after we've pumped out like 100 of these, I mean, this is something that we kind of need to be thinking about now also, but maybe we don't incorporate it until it's necessary, or maybe it's an add-on feature just for situations where the people are going over the water consistently. I don't know. I just kind of had those thoughts about it. I was kind of bummed out a little bit.
I mean, if you think about it though, almost no eVTOL companies going after Amphibious. And like he said, it just adds a whole layer of complexity, weight, and everything. So,
Right. And I
you
get
know,
that. Like
they
he
need to
said
be
that about the
focused.
weight, but he's also mentioned like, that they can still put heavy duty landing gear on this thing, that the landing gear is going to be very robust and they don't have to do this little rink a dink toothpick landing gear, that they can come and land on a normal runway like a normal airplane. So we still have the ability to put the weight in the landing gear, but I just don't know how much. And obviously Brandon saying, to have it amphibious, I get full amphibious, like we don't need to have a speedboat plane, but just for an emergency situation where we're having a failure, we have to set it down, and then we're going to get a boat out there that's going to tug us back to a dock, and we can get it on land and get it repaired.
Well, he did mention, I remember, that the back of the aircraft already is very buoyant and it could basically land on water and just, it could get taken out, I guess, by a boat or something for emergencies, but not amphibious in the sense of like, okay, landing on water and reusing the plane just for emergencies, just to land. So they do have that ability from what he was saying in the video as a response to saying that they're not going amphibious. If you
Right.
rewatch it, you'll see. I remember your concern about that, and I was watching that part, but
Yeah, but
um,
I'm kind of worried like it's gonna end up like, like the bow of a boat. Like the boat starts going down, but then let's say the bow is still intact, it holds all the air, and now you just have the tip of the boat bobbing up and down out of the water. So I mean, if we end up in the water and let's say water's coming into the cabin, I mean, like I don't know exactly what's gonna happen there. But
well,
let's say
I
somebody
mean,
opens the door to get out and the thing starts filling with water. Is it going to go straight to the bottom of the ocean, or is it just going to be bobbing up and down with just the tip out of the water? And then
true.
at
That's
that
an
point,
interesting question.
you know, what kind of issues are we going to have with, let's say, the engine and everything else now that it's under seawater?
Well, he did mention that it's completely sealed tight and, it will be buoyant. It can be buoyant. Water won't get in. But of course, if you open the door, then obviously it gets in. But you should only open the door once emergency services have arrived. So, I mean, if the aircraft sinks, I mean, who cares at that point? Your life is good, right? These are emergencies we're talking about. And also, it has a lot of redundancies. So, you know, if electricity, the batteries for some reason don't work, which doesn't really happen just like that. It usually degrades. I have a Tesla and I never just have the battery just stop working on me. And aside from that, if it does hypothetically happen, they have, the hybrid approach where, they can use the fuel, right? Or vice versa. If the fuel, the engine, I don't know what happens. I mean, they have a lot of redundancies. So these water landings seem extremely rare. This is an emergency scenario. And adding that complexity, weight, and everything is just a huge trade-off. I think that's ultimately like maybe I'm wrong, but from what I know, that sounds like what it makes the most sense, like he always says.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I get it. Worst case, they can just cut some foam and zip tie it to the plane.
All right. Well, so I just texted both of you the timestamps of the video. So you can refer to that if you want to see any particular part that you want to skip around to and remember that you want to talk about. But I want to talk first a little bit about the intro. I got one feedback, and I did think of this when I was making it, that the intro was extremely long. It was like a minute and 30 seconds till we got to the actual podcast. But it was just a long 1 hour podcast. And as I was editing it, I'm like, oh, I want this clip. I want this clip. It was going to be like almost 3 minutes. I cut a lot of it out. And I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was just exciting. My whole purpose was just to like excite people so they actually sit down and watch the full 1 hour. Was it too long? What do you guys think? And then we can maybe go into other parts of the episode.
I think it was awesome. I think you cut the videos excellently. I think there's quality, and then there's administration of technical factors. I think you cut the video fantastically, and I like your style. I like how when there's news or the CEO interviews, then we go over that. But if there isn't, then we're rocking and rolling with some interesting tidbits of information for the people to expand their horizons. No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's kind of a bummer that he didn't get to meet the Laws, but I guess it's cool that at least there's some photos of the Laws checking out the plane that'll end up coming out.
did you guys see the video they released today of the event?
I've been working on my boat all morning, man, and literally took a shower and got on the call with you, so I haven't had a chance yet.
Did you watch it, Anthony?
I did not. I
Oh,
wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it. If I see something from HOVR, then I usually don't assume there's going to be something a day or two later. So I guess they're picking up the speed. I got to be ready.
I I feel like I should pause this. It was like a minute and a half. It was so good. Brandon said something like another one of those lines, not explosive, but he said like, I don't know, something perfect.
Well,
You guys
pop
gotta
it up.
watch
Can
it
we watch
later,
it
but
together if it's real
yeah.
short?
All right, let's pause it. And anyone else can watch it. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna skip this part and pause. All right, we just watched it. They actually did watch it. They just remembered it was actually whatever. So he says in there, uh doing our due diligence, for the aircraft, whatever, they found out that it's going to be perfect for the mining industry and the rare earths, I don't know, industry or whatever. Just another like interesting language of how he used explosive. He's saying their aircraft is going to be perfect. I mean, th this is just, I mean, little signals like this. He can't say certain things, but he's just throwing out signals from what I'm seeing. So I just like that video for that part, and also it's just really cool seeing the aircraft there. But yeah, you mentioned Waz being there. That's pretty cool. Sucks he didn't get to meet him, but so cool. You guys enjoyed the intro. I thought that was maybe a little too long, too much, but great. Moving on real quick. I'm just trying to get my like learn and get some reaction and feedback so I can learn for the next times. What do you guys think of the introductory questions I had that were like a little bit silly? Like, should I avoid those and just go straight to the business? Like, I don't know. I spoke about like Disney movie and what else was it that was silly? I don't know. We got into where's the timestamps? We just got into like some random fun stuff. What was that like? Should I probably avoid those? Oh, and the name of the cabaret, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to avoid them in the future.
Well, in the end, it's like the runway for those type of questions will end very quickly. Like, there's not too many Disney cartoons with the Robinsons with the whole thing you explained. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if you got a couple in the revolver to shoot at them, yeah, that's cool. But like, I don't think you're gonna have a problem with like too many artistic questions. You know what I mean? Like, I think I think you've touched base on that, so I think it's fine personally. It makes sense to me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Brandon's, businessman, and his time is valuable. And if we're gonna, take up his time, I think we want to get, whatever good info we can out of him, as opposed to spending it bullshitting.
There was a
Kind of thing.
point. There was a point in the interview where he mentioned all sorts of engineering ideas for propulsion, acoustics, and thermal dynamics, I think he said.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, I mean, this is a whole rabbit hole we can just get into. And I asked him just briefly about acoustics, and then he went on like a 2, 3 minute rabbit hole explaining that, which I think is pretty cool for whoever's interested in the technical stuff. But I think that part of the episode was the most different from the rest of it when watching it myself again. Like, I feel like to most people, they would probably least understand and probably be most bored of that part of the episode. Um, but also, like he says, boring is safe, boring is awesome. So I wonder if people like that part and want more of that. Like, should we get into more of those rabbit holes? Like, I could have got into a lot more with him on that, I feel like, but I realized, well, one, I obviously don't know much when it comes to all these technical stuff. But I could just let him ramble on and kind of just follow up questions on like what I don't know. And two, I don't know if people are even interested. Should we just get to more of the numbers, the business? I don't know, random. Honestly, there was a whole mix of questions, but sorry, now I'm rambling on. What do you guys think?
This is what I
Well,
think. This is what I think. I'm a simplicity guy. I try to avoid complexities. I know I don't know everything, and the basic gist is cool with me sometimes. Like I just know that the Cav X7, etc. It's essentially the Ginsu knife of aerospace. Like use case number 159, 150. It's like you could use it for anything. You could pop a bottle with it. You could start a fire, And I like simplicities, helps me think. Sometimes I'm in a little time loop and I repeat myself. I think I even repeated myself in this thing at the intro to the other thing. I love your channel, you know what I mean? So it's like, but I'm a simplicity guy because there's a lot of confusions, a lot of information, little particles of data floating around the ether. Makes sense to me to align it with simplicities, So there you go.
DeathSmiles?
I think I'm the complete opposite, man. I need to know everything and the complex ins and outs of it. I mean, that's just the way I'm rooted. So that's why I was so disappointed about the amphibious thing. I was just like, you guys have 7 patents for it. It doesn't seem like putting 3 pods on there with the landing gear and it would really create that much more weight, you know? I don't know. I like to overanalyze everything. I
It's
look at
okay.
it from every single angle. It's kind of the way I've always been. I've always looked at it, what's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? And when it comes to safety, you always got to think of what's the worst case scenario. And yeah, you're right. I'm talking about an emergency situation. It's like 1 in a million, but it could still happen. I mean, it could be you're
Yeah, but
flying
you
from one
can't.
island to the other, and all of a sudden, maybe the plane gets struck by lightning and it fries fucking everything. And then what are you going to do? I
You
don't give a
can't
shit
stop
if you have
innovation though because
battery
of the one
backup,
in a
this or
million.
that. You're going down. Like,
Uh, Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't think of every little scenario like and stop innovation because of that. I mean, if yeah, Tesla's never gonna roll out robo taxis. Like there's gonna be crashes. Every good, Uber also, right, has a whole problem with getting people getting kidnapped or whatever. That's a one in a million plus whatever, I don't know, situation. And maybe you're right, rightfully so. Some places did ban Uber, but should that be the case? I mean, overall, most first world nations are pro innovation and understand that there's always going to be some anomalies, I guess, if you will. I mean, it seems so rare to me. The moment that happens, like, look, we'll be chilling. The stock price will go from 100 billion to 95 billion, whatever. Who cares? Um, but I don't know. I think we're so far from that. I think Brandon knows what he's doing with that decision. Look, you did message him. Let's see what he says about that. We can follow up with that on the live Q&A also maybe. Um,
yeah, I just like a little
I just
more
think you're
depth on
worrying
it.
about something that's too like minor to worry about, really. I don't know.
Like this is what I do because we have this whole body of information. We have speculation. We have what can he say legally. We have this whole panoply of data points, and it's like you can kind of go out there and like extrapolate out to the nth degree. But then it's nice because then you hit the brake pads and you can align it all with fundamentals. Someone could tell you this entire elaborate story, and then you're like, should I believe this? Should I not? But then you look at the fundamentals of like, who is this person? Do I trust this person? What's their track record like? What have they been doing? And then you can kind of like hit that point of like understanding. Because it's like, how do you understand something if you don't have all the information?
Yeah, I think we need to just ask Brandon about it just a little more clearly. Because I think really when you asked him about the amphibious, his mind probably went straight into the X3. And when you're doing a seaplane, it's completely different from a normal plane. You don't you do the body out of a carbon Kevlar composite, right? So that
Yeah.
you can actually cruise along the waves in the ocean or the lake and the water, and that rough turbulence on the body, it doesn't stress it, right? It's reinforced. And then doing the carbon fiber Kevlar is a lot lighter and stronger than your typical fiberglass like you normally would use for a boat. So I think that's kind of where his whole mind went when you brought up amphibious. But like again, my thing isn't like I don't want it to be a seaplane. I just don't want it to sink to the bottom of the ocean in an emergency. That's it. Because if I'm buying 5 of these and I have helicopters, now my helicopters are coming out of Huntington Beach and they're going over to Catalina Island, right? Well, my helicopters have floats on them. In an emergency, if we end up on the water, that helicopter isn't going to end up in the bottom of the ocean and be worthless to me. In that same situation, if I'm buying a $10 million aircraft and there's an emergency and it has to go down on the water and it ends up on the bottom of the ocean, I'm out a $10 million aircraft. And why would I want to go through that and buy another one? I'd rather have something that now I can at least salvage it and repair it. Insurance takes care of it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just from a business standpoint, I'm looking at it like, yeah, it's a one in a million thing, but that one in a million thing could cost me $10 million.
Yeah, but I think like it's like look at
That's
McDonald's. Look at McDonald's. They pumped out some burgers, fries, shakes, and sodas, and they pumped it. It was very basic, and they were good. It's like we could ask about or put his attention on like these very specific things in the future. You just build the Cav X7, man. It's the Ginsu knife of the skies. We're good, and it's like. Well, you could be asking the McDonald's brothers about the McPizza that's coming out in 30 years, or you could ask them about the McRib that's coming out seasonally in 45 years. But it's like there's gonna hit the ground running. Like there's a lot of power in basics. It's like just stick with your bread and butter and pump it. You know what I mean?
I think the answer is simple. It is a huge trade-off. He straight up said that's the answer, kind of. It's a huge trade-off. Makes it way more complex. And it's for something that, like you just said, it's like a one in a million. And I think you even said the answer, like you have insurance, you don't want to use the insurance to cover. That's when you use insurance for a one in a million situation. I mean, you can't avoid every situation. I mean, same thing with cars. Cars are not 100% safe, bulletproof, whatever, right? Like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, there are scenarios. And I mean, this is just something that if they really go after, it's gonna one, probably make the aircraft more than 10 million now. Two, increase the timelines. They'll probably need more certification, like they have the FIKI certification they're going after. I don't know if there's probably some seaplane certification that's different. I don't know. I wonder what Regent is going after. Maybe we can look into that. But I don't know. I think this is uh a dead end. I don't know. He straight up
Yeah, it's
said
fine.
they're
It's
keeping the
fine.
patents and they're gonna go after it maybe in the future, but
Yeah,
So
no big
I
deal.
don't think you'll be able to get insured, let's say in California, for a service that goes from Huntington Beach to Catalina if there's any possibility that craft can sink. Like, I just don't see it happening here. There's just too many rules in place. And I get it, like, but you're talking about an agency now that is in control of people's lives going from this place to that place over water. It's something where now the insurance company might go, look, the reason you have these floats on the helicopters is because we don't want them sinking to the bottom of the ocean because we don't want to have to buy you a whole new helicopter. So why do we want to insure this? So at that point, the insurance company might force it upon the people to comply and make it so there is some kind of safety net in place so there isn't a major loss. That's kind of the way I'm
I
looking at it. But
if
again, I'm in California, and California fucking sucks, man. There's
so
so much
so
red tape out here on everything. So
Mhm.
I mean, that's just the way it would go for us, though. I just know it.
no, you're right, there is. And I mean there would be the same in Europe and other places too, maybe, but who else is doing this? Ask yourself. If what you're saying is right, why is no one else going after Amphibious? If like Archer and Joby are literally like in California, they can like they're not even doing this.
Is there a difference between officially amphibious and if we need to land on the water, we could? Because it's like,
Yeah, it's a big difference. So, and
okay.
that's where we need to get the clarification out of Brandon because he said, yeah, there's still buoyancy and this and that. But like, really, then at that point, like, we want to know, okay, well, how buoyant is it? Like, what's going to happen if the door opens? Is it going to sink? Like, if people have to start getting out to get rescued, is there 5 minutes to get out before the aircraft is completely gone? Or what? You know what I mean? Like, those are just
Yeah,
little things that would worry me in an
I
emergency
wouldn't be worried.
situation.
I wouldn't be worried. Like these guys know what they're doing. If it like I would
I,
not be worried about that.
man,
Me
I get
personally.
worried. But again, I go out on my boat and I go out in the ocean and I go across to the islands. I'm in a boat and it can still be hairball, dude.
Yeah.
Like it can be nuts out there. So
Yeah, look
I
at
mean,
Sully. Sully landed the jumbo jet on the Hudson, just chilling, we good.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
And what do they
yeah,
do with the aircraft? They probably that's it, garbage. Bye bye.
yeah. Maybe I'm just dwelling on it too much. But
You got
yeah.
too big of a heart, bro. You got too big of a heart.
I just call
You
me
know?
Captain Safety. All right.
Ah, ah. I did want to say something. I did want to say something. I wanted to say a message to Brandon because I know he watches the channel. And it's kind of like a communication from a long-term investor standpoint and all that kind of stuff, which people might find interesting. So basically, I think to the contrary of romance novels and modern culture, I believe that the most dangerous man is a man with nothing to hide, right? He's not beholden to any kings or banks or people that can blackmail him. And he's talked about how like we're not your average micro cap, we're not taking, banks that are trying to put us under. Like they're running like such a lean program so that they can come out on top without any connection to anything that's going to hold them back. And it's like you can come out with a great gizmo, but if you're living your life like Jordan Belfort or something like that, and your personal time, it's not really gonna it's not gonna parallel too well. But like he's just such like a golden dude, like you were saying, and like
He is a true
the way it's going
entrepreneur,
down.
honestly.
You know what I'm
But what,
saying?
wait,
Like,
what's
like,
your
like,
message to him though? Just you just wanted to let him know that he's
yeah,
awesome.
it's really just that. Like just my confidence in him is very high. It's like you can look at a person and just kind of like get some indications and stuff like that. But like just the fact that he's like, I remember I told you I think they're bear proof. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and I just appreciate him for being that way. Because what's the bear reports usually have? Declining financials, balance sheet weakness, ineffective management, weak competitive position, and over-evaluation. Those are your, bullet points for the bear report. And it's like, a guy with clean hands, way he's running it, his personal life and the business, you can't attack that dude. Like that dude has no barriers. You know what I mean? Like you said, they could pivot. You can't pivot if you got barriers. You can't pivot if you're beholden to people. You know what I mean? So it's like they're a slam dunk. Like all of these, like you could check all the boxes. Like, what's the bear report going to say? They can't really lift that weight. You know what I mean? Throw some bricks in it. Let's go. Let's show them the plates. You know what I'm saying? So I just really like I sleep good at night. You know what I mean? Like these guys are going. They're working hard. They're not giving those fat salaries or nothing. They're pushing it. You know. So
Thank you for the
I just
hype.
want to say
I think
I just want to say
that's
thank you, Brandon.
I think Death Smiles needs a little bit of that after the saddened news he's gotten about the amphibious. So we've spoken a lot about that, but Death Smiles, any other news you want to talk about? Maybe something more on the bright side. We talked a lot about why you were a little disappointed in that news, but he shared a lot of other information, honestly, that I thought was quite interesting. We really did not dive into too much yet, but anything you want to get into, maybe?
No, like I said, I was happy that the Wows got to see it. I was, of course, bummed that Brandon didn't get to meet him and all that. I'm sure he wanted to. I mean, I would have wanted to if I was him. But their timelines just didn't coincide. So, but yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I'm pretty hyped. He got to see it. I also liked in the interview kind of how he's gotten more into the other use cases for it. With the mining and all that. Like that's stuff
I'll tell
I
you
didn't
the
even
stock.
think about. I mean, I get it. It's remote areas and all that, but it's just something that never even really dawned on me. I thought he was going there for partnerships and stuff, but on a different level. Like we're looking for a guy that's gonna give us nice motors for our craft, not we're gonna use our craft to help them. It was kind of like a twist for me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like that's not what I expected, but that's awesome.
I'll tell
Awesome.
you,
Yeah.
the stock price sure did respond like there was a picture taken of the Waz and Brandon Robinson fist bumping, eating a slice of pizza together. I'll tell you that though.
Well, I don't know if it quite bumped out hard. I mean, once it does, man, you'll know
Safety.
it. We'll
Yeah,
get that
I like the steady.
130% movement in one day, and everybody will be blown away by it.
Dude, last 2 days were awesome. Low volume, and going up. Like these are people that are like, and it ended strong. Like these people want to like get good seats at the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? They're saving their spot, bro. They're like, save that spot for me. I'm gonna put my drink right there. I'm here for the long show.
Yeah, I mean, there was one day, probably a year ago, where we had 80 million volume in one day. That was a very nice day. So I'm looking forward to a day like that coming up soon. I know it's going to happen. I got a feeling that, retail is going to keep pushing this thing up. And by the time institutions are actually really looking at it and ready to jump in, it's going to be too late for them. They're going to be chasing it, and we're already going to be settled.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we agreed the institutions cannot even buy into it right now until we're not a penny stock after $5, right?
Well, I mean, Bank of America has a small position, but I think it's for, their ETF or whatever. Everything I've seen so far from institutions pretty much has just been for their funds. Nobody's actually taken up a solid position in it. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I still can't buy it without making a phone call until we hit $5. So, see how it plays out.
That's crazy. Yeah.
You
Um,
guys, you guys know that phenomena where like you can hear the same thing over and over, and there can be like some clichéness to it because you hear it all the time, but then like at a certain point you have an epiphany that it's true. Like if your parents give you advice forever and then you're like 20 years later like, damn, dad was right. And it's funny because like he does repeat a lot of things because A, we're early, there's not a lot of stuff to talk about necessarily. B, publicly traded companies, so he has to repeat himself a lot. But it's really interesting because like I'll hear him say something for like the 38th time, but then like it dawns on me because like if someone has a lot of experience in something, it's like that those thousands of hours of observation, it's like whatever they tell you, it like is so three-dimensional beyond just like what they're saying. It has like so much behind it. And like he can say something like, yeah, the other guys can't fly in any kind of weather, but like, we're all weather. It's like you can hear that and be like, oh wow, all weather, really cool. But then like when you really think about it, like, having the vehicle like offline for, 30% of the year, that kind of sucks. But it's just really fascinating, like because you could say that sucks that there's not a lot of new information, but like I really like hearing the same things over and over. Call me crazy, you know what I mean? But like I actually like hearing the same things over and over because then you kind of learn more because that's how you get because like someone that knew a lot of things, they could drop their whole complexity of their you know uh 100 years in Tibet or something. They could tell you like all their travels, but if they just hit you with the fundamentals, like I think that's how you really over and over, like that's how you really get a glimpse of like what they know. It's like because it's obviously important. So I kind of like it.
What do you guys think's going to come next news wise? You think we're going to get a reveal soon?
Ooh, tinfoil hat time, baby. Yeah, I live for these.
I mean, I think Andrea has been out of there for a little while now, or Andrea or whatever.
that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. Like, I don't know
Uh,
about a reveal of the aircraft, but maybe some new images or something, like a new
yeah, well, the,
like
the 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 new
specs or
design reveal of the
right.
exterior and the interior, that I think that should be coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah.
Maybe new patents. You couldn't say anything about that.
Well, we have our earnings report in what, 2 weeks, so we'll see whatever on the patents in that filing.
Mathematically speaking, when you did ask him about what could be the 3 to 6 months news, he did say, it's going to be great for this because you asked him, is it going to be sector or you guys? And then he said, obviously, I can't say anything, and the sector is obviously going to be doing good. But if you look at the very next thing he talked about, the very next thing he started talking about was the financial stuff that they put in. There's no guarantees, but we did put in for it and stuff like that. So just on a linear basis of, him being ethical and communicating appropriately, because they got to spend it before the end of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a linear basis, mathematically speaking, according to Anthony's AI brain, we have a 10% chance of getting a prototype reveal of the X7 in the next 3 to 6 months.
I did learn something today. So you know how Murphy's law is whatever wrong can happen can happen?
It's
Can happen,
yeah,
will happen.
Yeah,
whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah.
yeah. So Murphy spelled backwards is Eurofrom's, right? So you have Eurofrom's law, which is the opposite of Murphy's law, which is anything good that can happen will happen. You see? So I'm going with that. So we're going 90% chance Eurofrom's law.
Okay. Yeah, or maybe 80/20. Let's do Pareto.
Let's do a
Something.
split. Let's do a split.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what the news will be to speculate, but it sounds like something will come out. He said in 18 months they're gonna be flying the thing, right? So I don't know, maybe they're just gonna come out with new designs and stuff or partnerships, right? Probably partnerships. What else could it be? Some partnerships would be good. Like we
I
only
love you
have
guys, man. I love you guys. Like you guys are hard workers. DeathSmiles. I know you about your personal life. You're a hard worker, bro. You're a stand-up guy. Matam, you're awesome, bro. You're real smart, very artistic. You can do anything, bro. And Brandon, much respect to him. You know what I'm saying? This long-term investing thing, it's like your family's taking you on a 10-hour road trip to Six Flags, and it's like, you hop in the station wagon and it's like, this is exciting. And then like 30 minutes later, all the kids are passed out in the back seat because their adrenaline was pumping. And then you wake up occasionally and dad's like, hey, check that out. It's the biggest donut in the United States on the side of the road. Check it out, kids. And then they pass back out. But then you get to Six Flags and everybody's excited. So this long-term investing thing is very exciting. And confidence is very high in Mr. Brandon Robinson and Mr. Phil Kelly. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I love your crazy analogies. I don't know where to even go with that.
Yeah, me neither, man.
Speaking of Phil Kelly, did you see he mentioned if he wasn't gonna work, if Hover didn't exist on one of my last questions there, he would go to Electra.aero, which I remember you brought up DeathSmiles how Phil Kelly was seeing them at some event and you're like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah, he was happy to see him,
And I thought that's another tie that was interesting that yeah, he was happy to see them and Brandon really likes the company. Maybe there could be some partnership news or some collab with them in the future, huh? They
yeah, maybe
partnered with
somewhere
Zero
down the
Avia.
road. Why not?
Hmm?
Hmm.
Down the road, baby. On the road again.
Yeah, probably when, I would imagine because I think that aircraft is all electric, right? Or no, it's hybrid, he said.
You know
So,
what's
Oh,
interesting?
yeah. Yeah, he
Now
did.
that I think about it, tying that with another question that I asked him about the LOIs, why he partnered with Air Chile and Jet Set Go, those were strategic partnerships. Those weren't just to get some money or just some LOI to have some news or something. Those were because the teams, the people knew stuff about, hybrid electric technology, and that's why he partnered with them, which is exactly the same thing with Electra. They're a hybrid electric airplane and they're or eVTOL. And he said how he likes the team. They used to work at Aurora, what was it? Aurora Sciences Dynamics or something. I forgot. So he likes the people in the team there. That's why he would want to be part of them. He said, if hypothetically, and not that he wants to, but in that question, that's how he answered it. So, I think that's interesting. the team, the people, the a partnership with them is strategic. It's not like, oh, we're partnering with another eVTOL company just because. So maybe that could be something. I don't know. But now we're just speculating. Look, this whole video is just us speculating. We don't have Brandon here to answer the real questions.
I'll tell you one thing that's not speculation. I'll tell you one thing that's not speculation. You know, everybody just has to take a deep breath and let it out and calm down and, you know, not stress out about rent money or whatever, just like the big hedge funds, because big hedge funds, they don't worry about rent money. They go in, they hold because they, you know, they good. But we do have the 2028 Olympics and all the milestones and all the progress in about 1,000 days. So all you gotta do is just click it one day at a time. 1,000 days go by, it's gonna be beautiful.
You know what I'm excited for? I'm so excited to revamp his website. I
Oh
was
yeah.
thinking to just tell him like on a video like what to do, what I would do. And then I was like, all right, I need the visuals. So I'm actually going to do the full thing and be paying a designer to help me design what I want to do. And then maybe even actually developing it, and then people can actually go to the link. Sharing this way too early. This is going to be really a while till I get this. But what I have in mind will be so cool if I can really make this work. So, I mean, maybe this won't happen, but I don't know. I shouldn't have even mentioned it, but whatever. Uh, I'm really excited about that. Just, I don't know. Speaking of some, what are you guys excited for? Obviously the stock price, but um, any what news or things you want to see coming up soon?
Um, to reconcile my internal vibrations of the whole spectrum of emotions. I like to really like look at where we are. You know, if you look at any you know, amazing company that's like doing awesome, if you look at their, you know, couple year chart or whatever, and you look back when they were just like a speck, you know, it's like what were people talking about when they were just a speck? You know, so just to get like the correct frame of reference of like where we are currently, you know, it's like we're standing in TSA, you know what I mean? Like we ain't even loaded up yet, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know, there's gonna be a lot of amazing things. We could talk about the same things over and over. We could analyze fundamentals and stuff. And I think, yeah, like what do we got? We got potential finance stuff. We got potential unveiling of pictures of medical stuff for the new revamping of the program. We got a partnership with somebody or whatever. Like, who knows? It's all good though. In Brandon, we trust.
You know, one thing that's not going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months, they're not going to move to Ohio.
I did like his answer though. It made sense. His answer was great. What did he say? He said, it's not that big of a deal. Don't use it as an analyzing point, but we got it there just in case we ever wanted to do something in the United States, we could use it for that. That's all I wanted them to hear. That's all I wanted to hear. He said exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay. I just wanted the people to hear it though. Like I wanted people to hear that it's not that big of a deal, but we could use it if we wanted to.
DeathSmiles, what do you think of his answer to William George Brunder and Dustin Shindo?
I thought that was interesting. You know, Dustin Shinto we already know about, but you know the William Brunder thing that was, you know, I mean we all know that he's going after some pretty good moving stocks. I mean we already figured that out. Um, but you know that's I think that's probably all Brandon knows. I mean I still think there's something deeper going on with Brunder because he's still linked in to the permits at Bombardier, but you know, I just don't know what's going on there. Maybe Brandon doesn't even have a clue.
Yeah,
And
in the end, continue. I'm sorry.
no, I mean that's pretty much it. Like that's just the way I viewed it. Like we already knew Brumder was picking some crazy stocks that have some good upside potential. And you know, in his positioning in all of them though is just under 10%, which I get why he's doing that too, but
Yeah, like I think it was fantastic to answer ask him the question. His answer was exactly what I thought. Like I remember I was telling you guys that like when we were talking about the questions, I was like, he's probably gonna say like, you know, publicly available information to, you know what I mean? Like he's not going to be like, "Oh, Brunder? Yeah, we was smoking cigars out on my boat." You know what I'm saying? And we was talking about taking over the world, bro. Like he ain't going to say nothing like that. So I think his response made a lot of sense. I wouldn't say his response shoots holes in any potential deep dive connect the dots. I think his answer was perfect because he's a classy guy.
And now I want to know what he says about grip investments. That was one we haven't asked him about yet. Maybe he's got something about them he can let us know about.
Yeah.
I like his answer to big eVTOL aircrafts, how basically he doesn't believe in them, like we talked about the extremes of the 40 seaters, but even not them. I mean, now it makes me think of like a XTIA or even a vertical aerospace. Their aircrafts are really large and I mean definitely need a lot of thrust. And those things will freaking blow holes through the center of the earth. What do you think of
Yeah.
that? That
Yeah,
smile.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
I saw
I
you.
liked it. It was a cool, it dovetailed with last time you interviewed him. You guys were talking about the scaling of the Bumblebee and everything. It was cool. It kind of dovetailed back into that. It was perfect. I liked it. Very entertaining.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Um, well, I think we kind of went over a lot of the things. Is there anything else you guys want to maybe discuss? I mean, not even related to the interview or whatever, just anything hover.
No, I'm just excited, man. I know we're going to get some good news here coming up. And I know that we're still deeply undervalued.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, man. I've been trimming my Rolls Royce this month. I've done well over the last, year and a half with that. And, August and July, I doubled up on my hover and I'm doing well, man. I'm happy with where I'm at. And I'm looking forward to the next 5 years for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anthony, any last words?
Um, I'm excited for tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Sunday.
what's tomorrow?
It leads into the day after and the day after and the day after, you see.
But the
Yeah.
market's closed. What do you mean?
Yeah, man, I'm curious as to how our monthly candle's going to close out and how our
Yeah.
quarterly candle's going to close out. We've only got maybe 5 more trading days, 3 more trading days for that. So
I
that'll
low
be interesting,
key,
man.
I
That'll
low
set
Yeah.
the
key
scene
want
for
the
the next
market.
candle, that's for sure.
For him to get his bonus, does it have to just touch the 100 million market cap, or does it have to be there for a certain extent of time?
It actually only has to tap it,
Great.
but
Tapped.
I don't think that that's what we're intending on doing, man. I think that we're going to get close to it like we are right now. And
Yeah.
we're not going to touch it, and we're just going to keep building, and then we're going to blow right through it.
Yeah.
And if anything, we'll pull back and maybe test it as a support at like 250 or 3 is my guess.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
anyone's listening that has just like 10 million bucks cash sitting laying around, just you can throw it in there, sell the stock. Brandon gets his bonus and you just get back your money.
Yeah, and you'd be over 10% owner. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, 10% owner. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
happy with my 0.1%.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, as it grows, who cares about that? Your portfolio, my goodness. It's
Yeah.
becoming hovers over 10% of my portfolio now, actually.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
past
after the rally
21.
we had Friday, it bumped me up to 85%.
Damn.
Yeah, it's getting heavy, man.
People comment down below how much percentage of your portfolio is in hover. And maybe Brandon will be watching this and checking out the comments and seeing, oh shit, retail's got my back. You guys are
Yeah, I mean, I've got Brandon's back big time. Like I said it before, I feel like I'm investing in my own company. So I don't see it as a loss. in any way at this level. And if I had the ability to buy more, I would. But I'm as deep as I can be at this point in Hovr.
Awesome. I think that's the right way to invest, honestly. Just like invest like it's your own company, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Not
find
trade,
something
not
that you
speculation.
really your heart goes out to and you understand it, and the guy, like she said, Brandon's just a golden dude, man, and that's kind of the way I roll. You want to be honest and upfront, and there's nothing but good things ahead for him as long as he stays the course,
Yeah. Yeah,
He,
and some people have the perspective of like, I want to wait. Like, what were you mentioning? Like, they want something more solid or something before they get in. But you want to be in early. You know what I mean? Safe and early. Like, it's like it's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why wait? You know what I'm saying? It's like. Some people got it like that. Like I'm in the poverty realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I if you know what I'm saying, Hover's $5, I'm getting not that many shares. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's a lot of people doing a lot better than I am. And yes, I hope these people load up. Please do, please
well, I
do.
mean, that's why I had to brag on Stock Twits a little bit yesterday, man.
Yeah,
Showing off my 26 cents again.
yeah, yeah,
Loading up. Yeah, I'm buying more here. It's definitely going above $1. And everybody's like, all right, cool. But why do you think that?
yeah,
It's like, have faith, man. Have faith.
yeah. Yeah, and I think
That's
I think
incredible.
trusting your intuition is very important too. It's like. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta trust your intuition, man. Just go with it. It's like because I've seen like I've only been in the stock market for a year. I was like because my whole theory was like I know things blow up and I want to be in one early so I can just ride the ride. And I saw things when they were 88 cents and then they went up to $25 like, a handful of months later. I saw things that were $1.50 that went to $26 and I never pulled the trigger. I was kind of like touching and letting go of my thesis and so forth. And then I kind of just drew the line in the sand and I was like, I'm not going to let that happen again. Hovr, yeah, like did all my research, looked at it, looked at Brandon, looked at the program, looked at, the situations on Earth with transportation, regional airports. And you just can't sweat the rent money, man. You just got to ride the ride. You know what I'm saying? Just make really good financial decisions in your own personal life so you can just let your investments just roll. But like this one's a good one. Like I got very, very clean feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you get past the volatility of it, that's really all it is, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy all in at once. Just accumulate little by little until you get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
This thing you could buy in today and it could drop, 10% tomorrow. And
Hmm.
then you just got to buy more
Yeah.
because that's all you can do, man. Because eventually it's just going to keep going up, and it always does.
That's right.
Amen.
And then when it does, we always say, I wish I would have got more. Already
Right.
saying it, but it's not too late. Still not too late.
No.
For sure. Definitely not too late.
All right, boys. That was a lot of fun. As always, until next time, thank you guys for watching and stay thinking, question everything, and peace out.